Welcome to the Good Food Virtual Festival. My name is the Ankarra Chef, and today I'm going to show you a little demo about how I conceptualize my dishes, and also to show you the versatility of our local indigenous ingredients. So today I'm going to make two dishes. First up, I'm going to make gnudi, which is a pasta usually made with ricotta cheese, but in this case I'm using amasi or hodzeko, which is our fermented milk, and also tsine or blackjack. First up, we are going to make our tomato sauce that is going to go with our gnudi. So this is basically like a pasta in the sauce. Today we're at the farm, so excuse the archaic instruments that I'll be using. So this is just olive oil and some garlic that I put in there. We are going to just saute the garlic just to bring out all that flavor into the oil. And then we're adding some grated tomato. I put some cayenne pepper, some basil leaves, and some onion powder in here just to give it a flavor. So that is going to be for our sauce. Our garlic is ready. We are just going to let that really cook down. I'm going to put some smoked paprika in here just to give it a smokiness and obviously for the color. So already transforming the color in there. So someone may ask, why did I add the sugar with the tomato? Tomato is very acidic, so the sugar kind of balances that out or neutralizes some of that acidity. So for our gnudi, this is the tsine. I just parboiled this for about 5 minutes, strained that, and then I squeezed out all the water, and then I chopped that up, an egg yolk, and then obviously our amasi or hodzeko. So this is a quick dish. It's just mixing up everything. It's almost like gnocchi, which is our potato-based pasta, which is almost the same process, but you used mashed potato in that case. If you've got Parmesan cheese, you can actually mix that in as well. But in this case, it's just going to be our tsine, our amasi, egg yolk, and flour to bind it all together. So our dough is ready. So it's just a soft dough. So I'm just going to put some flour on the workstation here, and then some flour on my hands. And then ordinarily you would use a piping bag, but I'm going to roll it out. So as you're rolling, you're opening your fingers so that it, becomes like a log, as you will. Right. So this is the size that I'm looking for. And then take my knife and then just maybe 5 centimeters. Now this is a rusty dish, so don't really worry too much about the size. Alrighty. Just a little bit more flour here. So I like to give them a little pinch. You have an indentation that can be absorbed or absorb the sauce. And there you go, that's your noodle. Remember to always flour your hands in the workstation so that they don't stick. So what we're going to do is we're going to just cook this in boiling salted water, and they cook really quickly. Once they've risen to the top, then you know that they're ready. Our sauce is going on well. I think we will add a dash of cream into the sauce. Just to give it that lusciousness, and everything goes well with cream, or cream adds flavor to anything, so yeah. So there we go, we've got our noodle. So what I'm going to do is pick them up gently and put them into the water. So I salted the water, and it's just rapid boil. So once they actually rise to the top, we're just going to put them straight into the sauce. And in terms of the sauce, you can add more chili, you can add more herbs, you can personalize your dish. For me, that's how one personalizes their dish, by adding whatever ingredients that they like. So if you like your food hot, you can add chili into your sauce. If you like more herbs, you add more herbs in there. If you like cheese, you add more Parmesan cheese in there. So we should always try and personalize our dishes. And for me, whatever tastes good to you is what you should put in there. So don't be restricted by anybody telling you that this doesn't go with that. As long as you taste it and you like how it tastes, then it goes together. So as you can see, our noodle are already rising to the top. So what you can actually do is you can cook these in advance. So once they rise to the top, take them out, put them in some ice water, and then strain them from the water, and then put them in the fridge. Then when you want to serve, you can actually just fry them as well. Just a bit of garlic, onion, fry them in there and serve them up with even a steak or something. So they are very versatile as well. So there you go. Our noodle into our sauce. It's time to plate. At this point, you can also add Parmesan cheese. You can add some chili, some hot sauce. There's our first dish, guys. That is blackjack noodle, or blackjack Anifasi noodle, with some fried bread on top. Right, guys, next up we're gonna have a dessert. So see you in a minute. Now for the dessert, we're gonna use ingredients that are indigenous to Zimbabwe. This is a wild fruit called masao. This I just dried, so this is masao powder. I just dried it, sun-dried it, and then I blitzed it to make a powder. And then we're using opaque beer. This is made from maize and sorghum. So when we're feeding our cattle, like supplementary feeding, we usually use sorghum extract residue. And I really love that smell of the sorghum, of the fermentation. So I thought, why not incorporate that kind of smell or that aroma in a dessert or in a dish. So what we're gonna make is opaque beer mousse, if you will. So I've got cottage cheese here, and some sugar, and then some of that opaque beer. So we're just gonna mix this together. This mousse is going to be used to top our masao pancakes or flapjacks. I'm not quite sure what we're going to make yet, but I think they're going to be flapjacks. So to our ricotta and opaque beer, I'm just incorporating a bit of whipped cream. You don't want to work it too much, you still want it to be nice and airy. So this we're going to put in the fridge to set for 2 hours. Should be enough for it to set. And this is just to, it's almost like a light sauce that we're trying to have with our pancake. So I'll empty this into this container here. So our opaque beer mousse is ready. We'll put this in the fridge and then work on our pancakes and then finish up and dish up. I made another batch earlier on, so I'll bring that over, and then when we're plating up, we'll see how it goes. So on to our, for now we're calling them pancakes. So this is just some brown sugar, old-fashioned if you're in Zimbabwe, and an egg, and some margarine as well. Then we're going to add our masao powder. So I chose masao because for me it has a citrus note. When I'm eating it, I can taste some lemon and a bit of orange, a bit of grapefruit as well, depending on what stage you find the masao. Some flour and baking powder in there. So that's how I came up with this dish. Like, okay, how can I eat masao in a different way? Obviously, first step is to make the powder, and then what vehicle can I then create with the powder, which was the batter. So obviously there are various other applications you can put with the masao. Things like ice cream, things like custards. So that's how basically I conceptualize the dishes. So we're putting a dollop of the batter. Looking for some medium-sized pancakes. Once again, the idea is to use our indigenous produce in different ways. I'm actually surprised that we've had masao for I don't know how many years, how many generations, but we've not yet come up with a different way of eating them. I have seen some people make masao jam. So this is just my idea, is to think outside the box, get people to think beyond what they think is possible with our food. And a lot of people are out there saying that Zimbabwean cuisine is bland, is boring. I think it's up to us as chefs actually to show that that's not true, that we've got so many different kind of ingredients, and then we then use different kind of techniques, fermentation, drying, dehydrating, smoking, to then give those ingredients a different flavor profile that would then make them interesting. But all our ingredients also have a story. The opaque beer, the tsine, the masao, they all have a story to tell. And so when you create this kind of food for Zimbabweans, Africans, this is food that they can relate to. If I were to use a berry that people are not used to, that they did not grow up eating, it's not something they can relate to, and it's not something that will be memorable for their eating. So I always try to have ingredients that are relatable to my clients. And so after that dinner, they can then go back and tell somebody that, hey, when I ate that dinner, we ate masao pancakes. Who's going to think of that? That can be a talking point. We ate opaque beer mousse. So I think that's what, as chefs, our responsibility is to really transform these ingredients into something that the general populace would not have thought about. But it still must be tasty. So hopefully you try out these dishes and then you let us know what you think. at the Good Food Festival, we always try to, you know, think outside the box. We always try to showcase the ingredients that are available to Zimbabweans and to the world, really. So our pancakes are doing well here. I think once you see the bubbles forming on top, that tells you that it's time to flip. And once again, the chef does not have the right implements, so I'm going to try and flip it with this. I think it can go for a few more minutes, so we'll leave it and then flip them, plate them, and then taste them. Right, so our pancakes are ready, and it's time to plate up, my favorite time. Playing on that citrus note, we've got some lemon curd here, so I'm going to use that to plate our dish here. And then we have our pancakes. Maybe we can go really some height there. And then we've got our mousse. And then obviously some more of our sour powder here. And then finally, some greenery, some mint. So there you go. That is our Masao pancakes with opaque beer and ricotta cheese mousse on top there. Lovely. So there you go, guys. That is our Masao pancakes with some ricotta and opaque beer mousse. Our starter was the blackjack nudi with the tomato sauce. So yeah, that has been the Ankarra Chef on the Good Food Virtual Festival. I hope you guys are going to try out this dish and let me know what you think. But for now, thanks to technology, this has been the Good Food Festival Virtual Festival 2020.